it's like, just calm down, folks. Just calm down. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Best Boys Center Ice podcast. I'm Barry Besse, along with my son, Carson Besse, the best hockey analyst you've will ever hear
The best
from.
unemployed one with the NHL. I'm not employed by them, I wish.
Not employed by the NHL. You should be employed by the NHL, or at least ESPN or somebody. But Carson's love of hockey came later in life. Like me, I started playing the game when I was, first thing I could think of was playing hockey when I was born. Carson picked it up. He never played the game, but he sure has watched a lot of it over the last, 15 years, maybe. And he's got it all up here as far as his knowledge of the game.
Encyclopedia.
And we are thankful that you're joining us tonight. If you're not, we're here live on Facebook and on our YouTube channel, Best Boys Center Ice Podcast. I see we have a couple of people looking in already. I'm trying to get it pulled up on my phone, and it's not pulling up on my phone yet. So, but we love to talk to you. If you have any comments, you have your favorite team that we don't maybe talk about as much. We'd love for you to comment here. And today, we're getting close. It's 2 weeks today, right? Until the end.
2 weeks. 2 weeks from tomorrow. 2 weeks tomorrow, the playoffs start, the 18th.
It's hard to believe that the playoffs are already here.
Well, and normally I think in a regular season, for the most part, the playoffs would be probably starting like next week. It seems everything's kind of been delayed a little bit because now the finals start later and stuff. But yeah, it's exciting. The most exciting time of the season is right now.
Yeah. So we're going to delve into the last couple of weeks of the regular season.
Yeah, there's a lot going. There's a lot happening right now.
There's a lot yet to be determined.
Yeah.
There's a lot yet to be determined in this next couple of weeks, as far as Jamie's watching us too.
Oh, nice.
And I think Beth is watching us too. Are you watching us? Yeah, she's watching us. It's just not coming up on the screen, but lots of nothing. I think you said it, I think we're gonna come down to the last day.
Last game. Absolutely. Last night. Yeah.
So let's get into it.
Yeah.
Let's start with the Penguins.
You want to do that first or the league? What do you think is better to do?
We can do the league first. What I let me go down to my league notes here. Hey, Brent Burns, Avs defenseman, is going to play his 1,000th consecutive game Saturday against Dallas. 1,000 games in a row. He's going to be the second NHL player to do it in history. Phil Kessel did it. He holds the record of 1,064. So Brent Burns,
that's cool.
It's still going strong. It's one thing to play 1,000 games
in a row.
Play 1,000 games in a row. That's just an incredible feat, and he says he does it for the love of the game, and he's definitely the iron horse of the NHL.
Yeah.
Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto Maple Leafs will miss the playoffs for the first time in 10 years.
Yeah.
And nobody outside of Toronto is upset about that. You don't say whether a team deserves to be in the playoffs, but they don't deserve to be in the playoffs.
Nope. They're put on a pedestal that they shouldn't be on.
They messed up that organization has been messed up for a few years now. They thought they had it.
Well, and they just fired their GM last week. I mean, they're tumbling. They
just are on a downward spiral. You knew something was going to happen. The Austin Matthews thing never worked out. They had their big three and it never really worked out. So Toronto's going to have to do a lot of retooling if they want to make it back to where they were, and even where they were was mediocre. So they have to really improve. But not too many, like I said, not too many people outside of Toronto are uh, are upset
No.
that the Leafs aren't going to make the
Mhm.
playoffs this year. Um,
Mhm.
I want to bring in before we start going into playoff scenarios as of today. I want to start bringing up the postseason awards and what you think. The Hart Trophy is where we'll start. That's the MVP of the MVP of the.
I think Celebrini should get it.
You think he should get it?
Yep,
Oh, he
absolutely.
will get it.
I think he should get it. I don't think he will get it, but I think he should get it.
Is it really the top four would be McDavid, McKinnon,
Yeah.
Kucherov, and Celebrini.
You look
I'd
at
love to
you
see Celebrini get it.
when you look at the award the way it should be is what do you mean to your team? Where are the
Yeah,
Sharks without him?
yeah.
Nowhere. The
They're
Sharks
nowhere.
aren't in a playoff spot, which they are right now.
Yeah. So
I think that's a no brainer for me.
like, and he's just had an incredible season, and he's to me he's had a better. Um, he's looking better at this point than even Connor Bedard did.
Oh, that's not even a
It's not even.
comparison.
It's not even close. Connor Bedard had
Yeah.
wasn't
Well,
he wasn't as he was. The hype was all there.
Well, he yes, that really doomed him. He not to say he's been playing bad. He's been playing pretty good, but he was put under so much pressure. The most pressure I think any prospect had been put under in decades.
Yeah,
And he was put from the day his name was called at the draft. He was you couldn't scroll on NHL media without seeing him. And it's like he hadn't even played a game. You know,
yeah.
he
I
was
think
put under
there was
this
a
he was put under this scope that he was going to be one of the best players ever, and he hadn't played one game.
yeah
Yeah.
there was a lot of pressure on him, and and you said it, undue pressure on him. I don't know. If you go by that, who's the most valuable player to your team? Yes, Celebrini definitely should. It'd be nice to see him win. I don't think it's going to happen though.
Mhm.
I think if it's not McDavid, it'll be McKinnon. Uh,
I don't think McDavid gets it this year. I
no,
don't think he gets it. The Oilers have been not a very great team
yeah,
overall. Top to bottom, the Oilers have gone worse this year than they were the last couple of years.
yeah. So you got
I think
McKinnon.
you've got to give it to you just have to give it to Sel. They're not in the playoffs picture if it's not for him. I mean,
Yeah,
he's every game he's getting point. He just had a 4 point game the other day in that crazy win over Anaheim. He's not playing. The Sharks aren't there.
yeah,
I think if McDavid's not playing, I think the Oilers still can make it where they're at because of Draisaitl. If McKinnon's not playing, they can still make it pretty close and
hmm
be in the playoffs because they have other guys on the team like Natchez, Landeskog, guys like that. And then Kucherov, if Kucherov's not playing, you still got great guys on that team, Braden Point, etc. The
hmm
Sharks do have great players, but if Celebrini isn't there, they're literally not gonna make it.
yeah. Okay.
So
I mean, over the next couple of weeks, we'll go over some of the other trophies where we think that's going to land. Now, let's get to the playoff scenario. As if the playoffs were to start today, this is what
bracket,
the matchups would be. We'll start out in the East. It'll be Tampa Bay against Boston.
that would be an interesting
That's
series.
at the first place in the Atlantic against the first wild card team. Say Tampa Bay, Boston. I don't think Boston has what it takes anymore. Tampa Bay is just going to be that much better. Is that much better than Boston? Boston may win a game or two,
I
but
think they could
Tampa
get
Bay,
two. I think it would be a 6 game series.
you think?
Yeah.
Tampa Bay will ultimately win that series, in my opinion.
In my opinion, I think the Bruins are a a fierce team. I think they could pull it off in seven. I think they could do it.
You think?
I think they have that. I feel like that mentality where they'll just grind the Lightning out a little bit, but they got to stick to their game. I mean, if they try to play cute against the Lightning, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think they could. I think they could maybe pull off an upset. My heart thinks that Boston will win, but my brain says just with how Tampa's been playing, I think they'll get it done. They were embarrassed last year against Florida. They don't want
Mhm.
that to happen again. Being out in the first round, they're going to be out for redemption.
Yeah.
Vasilevsky is going to be at the top of his game, but it's going to be a good series that one if it sticks. If it ends up
Yeah.
being both.
That'll be a good series, that one for sure.
Yep.
Next up is going to be Buffalo, who's in the second spot in the Atlantic against Montreal.
I think that
Uh,
could be a very exciting series.
that to me is a 7 game series, and that
Two
could
young
come down
teams,
to
two younger teams that really, in the last while, really haven't done too much. I mean, the Canadians have made the playoffs. They made the final back in 21 during the COVID stuff, but really both teams haven't done much of anything the last few years. One of those teams would be in the second round. It'd be interesting to see which one. That'd be a very good series. And
right.
for Buffalo, who hasn't had a playoff hockey game in 15 years, that arena would be crazy. We already know how loud the Bell Center is. That'd be a really exciting series to watch. As a whether you're a fan of those teams or not, that's an exciting series that you got to see. I think.
7 games, and I'm going with Montreal. Got to pull it out in the end. I
I
think
think
this.
Montreal too. I think they
Yeah.
have star power. I think that's just carrying them there right now.
Hmm.
I think they do get it done. I think I agree in 7 though. I think it's gonna be a long one if that's the series.
All right, and then moving on, Carolina and Ottawa, number one team in the Metro against the second wild card team, Ottawa.
Uh,
Um,
Carolina in 5.
you think?
Oh yeah, Carolina in 5. I think
Well,
the goaltending for uh, Ottawa's been inconsistent. I will say the same thing about the Canes, but I think the Canes defensively. I've mentioned this last year. They're defensively minded. They do well in the first couple rounds because of it, but as the farther they get, it's harder for them. But I think they'll be fine. I think they get Ottawa in 5. I think Ottawa can get Game 3 at home. Should that series again stick around. But yeah, I think Carolina's just too good to
yeah,
lose right away.
I'm saying, yeah, I'd agree with you. 5 games, and Ottawa wins one at home. Next up, one you're very interested
Oh
in,
yeah.
yeah, Pittsburgh and the New York Islanders. Pittsburgh Metro number 2 against the Islanders Metro number 3. The way of Pittsburgh have been playing all year long is really very consistent. A lot
Hmm.
of they've really proven that the last couple of years were just they weren't themselves. Now they're playing like themselves, and I really think Pittsburgh's going to make a bit of a run in the East. I know the Islanders are a tough team to play against,
Yes, they are.
but I still think Pittsburgh. I'm giving the edge to Pittsburgh in 6. I just think you got the star power still. You've got the big three. You've got them. The window, like we always say, is closing on those guys winning and another trip to the Stanley Cup. And who knows? This could be it. But I think it's going to be very exciting. I know for you, it's going to be great seeing the Penguins
Hmm.
back in the playoffs. But
I
I'm going
know.
to give it to the Penguins in 6 on that one.
Yep. I think again, as much as the Penguins the last couple of series against the Islanders have struggled, I think that they can get it. They can get them this time if they end up playing them. I think I agree. It's a 6 game series. In this situation, they would have home ice, which plays key. Maybe not as key as it used to, but it does because the Penguins haven't been in the playoffs in a while. They've missed the last couple of seasons, but you're right. This year it's been consistency. They've played really well. They've had a couple stinker games all season, but I mean, not many. I can count them on my hand. You're getting the emergence of the big guys still are doing their thing. Guys that have stepped in, okay, like Igor Chinikov, 20 goals already. I feel like every time I message you about the games, he's scoring a goal. Uh,
Hmm.
Guys like Kendall, Brazo, Mantha, Raquel. Okay, one thing that really may have been talked about too much, the emergence this season of Eric Carlson on the blue line.
Hmm.
He's been the vintage Eric Carlson we've seen years ago back again. He's probably been the MVP of the team. The only struggle I think the Penguins will have and are having right now is the goaltending part of it. They're kind of falling apart a little bit when it comes to that. But again, I don't really think there should be any different expectations because they don't have those like Vesna caliber guys. But as of now, I think they make the playoffs. Stu's the starter, and that's it. You ride with Stu because he's got that experience. It's exciting to see the Penguins in it. I mean, really, all they have to do the rest of the way is probably win 3 games.
Yeah.
They win 3 games and they're in. Obviously, scoreboard watching happening every day right now. The Flyers are beating the Islanders 2-0 in Long Island, which is huge for the Penguins because should the Islanders lose that game, the Penguins will be 1 game up in hand with 3 points ahead, and if they win tomorrow, they'd be 5 points up. Uh, a lot's going their way.
Hmm.
I'm kind of going on my Penguin rant right now, but I'll talk about it a little bit more later. But a lot's going their way. But those teams around them, they're like in the Metro, are losing a lot now. The Jackets are 0-4 and won their last 5. The Flyers just lost last night to the Red Wings. I mean, the Islanders have lost a couple of games in a row. It's all kind of going their way. The destiny's in their hands, and yeah, I agree. They could make some noise, definitely. But it'd be nice. It's just nice. It's gonna be nice to see them in the playoffs once they get that spot. I'm gonna be excited to watch them play again.
Yeah. So there's your Eastern Conference set up for you now. Move over to the West, which again, this all could change within the next
Yeah.
couple of days. But right now, as if the playoffs are starting today, the first round would be Colorado, the Central Division leaders against wild card number 2, the Los Angeles Kings. Again, I don't know who's going to beat Colorado, honestly. They're just
That the Kings aren't
there's
in there. It's
there's
not the
just no
Kings.
there's no kink in the armor. There's like
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
gonna the only team that can beat Colorado, I think, is Colorado. And if
Dad,
they if
it's
they
not the
pull,
Kings.
no, it's not the Kings. The
And no,
Kings
it's not
are
the
gonna
Kings. It's the Sharks that are in there. It's the Sharks that are in that spot. The Kings are out.
okay. Well, this must be an old one that I have then.
Yeah, it's the Sharks are wild card number 2 because they have an extra game in hand on the Kings right now. So the Sharks have that
So
spot.
it's
So it'd
San
be
Jose.
Colorado, San Jose, which
Okay,
that could be a different series.
yeah,
I think that could be a different. I still think, yeah, Avalanche do it. They beat San Jose, but San Jose can make it interesting with how those guys have been playing. I mean,
yeah,
they're going to have no expectations behind them. They're not supposed to win that. Who knows? Celebrini could go on a tear and have a 15-point series, and that's what it takes. What do you
yeah.
think about that one?
If it San Jose have a better shot than LA does, no doubt.
Yeah,
And I don't think the other teams that might have a shot would be Nashville and LA, but San Jose against Colorado. If anybody's going to give them a bit of a run, it
that
could
could be
be
a good series.
San
That really
Jose.
could be a fun series to watch. I think
Yeah,
it would be. I mean, the
I
Shark
think
Tank would
it
be.
it would be Colorado maybe taking uh, that San Jose team for granted, and not
I don't
playing.
think they would either. I think they know what they're capable of. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a fan base that hasn't watched their team in the playoffs in a while. That arena is going to be crazy in San Jose. Uh, again, home ice matters, but it doesn't matter.
yeah,
I mean, the Sharks are a fun, exciting team that have no real expectations, but it'd be great to see them get there. I think out of the teams of them, Nashville and LA that are hunting for it, I want San Jose to in there.
yeah.
That's going to be exciting if they make it.
That'll be good to see that San Jose back in it. The next round, it would be. This is one that it's going to be two of the top teams in the league going against each other. Dallas and Minnesota, number 2 and number 3 in the Central Division. Just the way everything falls, one of these two teams, who Dallas 102 points so far, Minnesota 96. One of these two teams are going to be eliminated
Crazy.
in the first round, and it's going to be terribly disappointing for one of those two teams. But it's the way that the NHL's brackets are set up for the playoffs. I'm giving a nod to Dallas, even though they've been kind of a little shaky
Shaky.
lately, especially goaltending. But Minnesota could come up and be. This could be the surprise game. This could be the surprise one. Minnesota, is going to be tough to beat. Again, Dallas is going to have to really bring everything to the plate. And goaltending, Otter's got to be really on his game. He's got to be playoff Otter. I just think if anybody's going to beat Dallas, Minnesota, it's going to. But I'm still going to give the edge to Dallas on this one.
I will too. I mean, they're coming off the injury bug a little bit. Rantanen just got back. Obviously, their concern right now has been their goaltending. Really, Otter's not been that great lately.
Hmm.
It's kind of struggled, but I think they have that experience, and I think the Wild are just that team that's kind of cursed to not really make it that far. But
Yeah,
again, that's a team that again, if anybody's going to beat Dallas, it's going to be them right away. I mean,
yeah,
it's going to be exciting. It's going to be entertaining. Obviously, both teams have changed a lot lately in the last couple of years. But yeah, I still give the edge to the Stars. I mean, they have that experience and that factor and thing in their game that will allow them to beat Minnesota and get past them. I think that one's going to be done in
yeah,
6. I mean, I'd like to see the Wild make it far in the playoffs, but I think Dallas just has what it takes to beat more
yeah.
than they do.
I agree. All right, now we move on. Number 1 team in the Pacific, Anaheim Ducks against the number 1 wild card team, Utah.
Oh,
Um,
that'd be fun.
like that'd be a fun series to watch.
I think Utah beats
Utah,
them.
I think Utah could be one of those. You always talk about the wild card teams that kind of make some noise. I think the Mammoth could be though that team that could make some noise in the Western Conference. At least like Anaheim has been flirting with first place all year, but I just don't feel them being a, a strength in the playoffs.
Yeah,
The Pacific has been weak this year. The Pacific is not the greatest of the four divisions. I just don't see Anaheim doing what they did in the past when they were one of the top teams in the league. I think Utah has a great chance. I'm actually going to go with Utah in that round, and it would be 6 games. I
I
just think Utah's an exciting young team. Got to watch them the other night.
yeah,
Anaheim is not to me. You look at the top teams in each division; they're not quite an elite top team. You know what I mean?
I do.
They're an exciting team. They're going to be there, but I just think Utah would win this one between the two of them.
Yeah, I think Utah as well. I actually think Utah would get it done in 5. I know it's a crazy thing to say because the Ducks are leading the division, but yeah, I think Utah's just got that factor in them. I mean, they're playing in a tougher division. That's
Hmm.
why they're kind of at where they're at, really,
Yeah.
because the Mammoth are only 3 points back of the Ducks. I think that they they have, even though Anaheim's got some experience on their team too. I think the Mammoth have that, and I think uh, I believe in that crowd to really show up for them in Salt Lake City should they make it, which it looks like they're probably going to, because they haven't had a playoff game ever. This will be their first time, and I mean they haven't had much to cheer for lately. Their basketball team's been not good for
Yeah.
the last couple of years. Now they're finally getting that excitement. I think that you get it done in 5. I think it's just Anaheim has just kind of had this whirlwind season where they came from nowhere to somewhere in one year, and we've
Yeah.
seen it before with like Vancouver, where out of nowhere they just popped up. Uh, but again, no matter what, I don't think this is a failed season for the Ducks if they get eliminated right away because they've showed they can hang with a lot of the teams.
Hmm.
And this is just the beginning for them because they are young and they're going to be in that race for a long while now.
Yeah. I agree. And the last one, that's the Oilers, second place in the Pacific, third place in the division against Vegas.
I'll go
Edmonton's great.
first on this one because this is your team.
Okay.
Uh, I think we've talked about this. Vegas has kind of looked not that great at points this year. I mean, this is the first season in
Mhm.
their history that they've lost more games than they've won, or that they're going to lose more games than they win. Goaltending, I think, has been suspect for them. Aiden Hill's been not the best, but again, he has that Stanley Cup ring that a lot of goalies wish they could
Mhm.
have. I think you've got other guys on that team that have won. A lot of them have won the cup before. You got Mitch Marner in the fold, who left a toxic Toronto situation and has played pretty okay. Other side of it, okay, you got the Oilers trying to redeem themselves, losing twice in a row. Guys on that team, some of them, a couple of guys on that team have won a cup, I imagine. Uh, but same story for the Oilers. Goaltending's been kind of shaky
Mhm.
because you don't really know who's going to be your guy in game one. You've got this big contract in Jari that's sitting right now, and then you've got the other guy Ingram, who was in player assistance and hadn't played a game in a while, and all of a sudden got thrown into it. This is going to be an exciting series. I think it'll be a longer series, 6 or 7 game series. But it just depends on which Jari. I think if you call it Jari starting, which Jari you're going to get, because this is a guy that hasn't won a playoff series. But for the sake of how they both looked so lately, I think I give the edge to Edmonton because their depth guys have been playing really good. You
Mhm.
got guys like Roslovic, Podkolzin's one that you've talked about that I've seen just flying, Kapanen. I think they just have it to, together, but it's going to be up to how Jari does. I
Yep.
mean, he's only the team's only going to go as far as he does. So if Jar stinks it up, that's a team that you're playing against that you probably don't want to do that against because Vegas can easily put the puck in the net
Yeah.
when they want, and they're not happy with how they played. They know they played bad. They're not happy with where they're at. They'd want to be in that top spot, locking up a
Yeah.
spot, but they haven't yet. They're going to come out there looking for blood, and it's going to be a tight series. But I think I give the edge to Edmonton on that.
Yeah. I'll go with you. It all depends on goaltending. You could
Both ways,
have
really.
if
Honestly, both
like
ways.
yeah, if it goes by what Knobloch has said, Ingram's the number one guy. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks. Who's hotter? Because basically, what you got to do, who's your better goaltender going into the season, whether it's your backup or whether it's your starter.
I think
Um,
what you do personally, once they clinch, if he knows who's going to start, play the other guy.
Hmm.
So I think let's say it is Ingram, okay? And the Oilers clinch a spot with, let's say, 3 games left, for example. I think then you play Jari and then play Ingram the last game, or you play Jari Ingram Jari
Yeah.
just to give him that extra game in there. Uh, I do agree. I think you go Ingram. I mean, he's been. I think the team has more confidence when he's there. I mean, I've seen the same. I speak on this because I've seen the same story in Pittsburgh when Jari was in the net. You get to see the team played so much differently, like just scared that they couldn't give up anything because if they
Hmm.
gave something up, it was going to be in their net. That's not a good place to be, and it makes them choke up on their stick. I agree. Ingram's their starter guy. I think 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. I really think, like, um, you put him in, you see how he goes, because when I'm watching the game, and I watch every game, every minute, I feel more confident with Ingram in the nets than Jari, even though Jari has played good the last couple of games he's gone in. But it's not only just that, but the defense has picked it up too for the Oilers, so that helps out a lot with your goaltending.
Yeah,
And the role players are starting to score. Draisaitl's still out. We think he's going to be back in the next few games or whatever, before maybe he'll get a game or two before the end of the regular
I don't even
season.
think you bother. I really don't. I think you let him just practice,
Yeah,
and if anything, if he plays game 82, just have him play like 10 or 15 just
yeah,
to kind of get his legs under him again, because there's no point in risking anything if they're already clinched,
yeah,
because really it's the Oilers most likely at that point will already be locked into a seed, I
yeah.
imagine. So it's not going to make a difference. I mean, really, I don't think, as much as you want home ice, it's not worth home ice to get your guys and a risk to be
No,
hurt.
and then the Oilers don't thrive off of home ice anyways.
I know.
So
It's
the
so
Oilers,
backwards. I don't get it.
yeah, it's been always backwards in Edmonton. So we're going with the Oilers in probably six, I would say. But it's all about, we still got a few more games here seeding wise. The Oilers going into um, going into our show tonight, won 5 in a row, four since we last talked. They're 39, 28, 9. Now they're tied with Anaheim for the Pacific lead, but Anaheim's got more wins
Got a
than
game in
the
hand
Oilers
too.
do, and a game in hand. And they're three up on Vegas. They beat Vegas last Thursday, 4-3. They beat the Ducks last Saturday, big win for them, 4-2. They shut out the Kraken Tuesday, 3-0, and then they beat Chicago last night, 3-1. So they're winning within their division, and they're starting to look like a team that's getting ready for the playoffs. And you're right. Then you just throw Leon Draisaitl into it, and they're even that much better of a team.
Yeah,
So it's nice to see them starting to gel a little bit. The goaltending and the defense has improved drastically over the last couple of weeks. Both goalies look confident. D is blocking shots, clearing out from in front of the net. So that's kind of getting tied up a little bit. I still think Ingram's got a little, the team's a little bit more confident with Ingram in the nets than
100%.
Jari. But, like I said, the last couple of games for Jari haven't been that bad at all. He hasn't had a whole lot of work, but he's made some big saves when he had to. One guy I'm really liking more and more every
Yeah.
day is Matt Savoy. The rookie's on a tear. He's got 15 goals, 17 assists, 32 points, and he's playing great along with
Yes, he
McDavid
is.
on that line. He's on the power play now that Draisaitl's been sidelined, but it just seems like those two just are connecting on a different level. And like sometimes Hyman's on the other wing, sometimes it's Ryan Nugent Hopkins, and sometimes it's Podkolzin. And I just think Savoy is really a good fit for McDavid being on his line. And it's nice to see him. He's a rookie. He's just I love seeing him when he just
He's just having fun.
he's having fun. He's a young kid having fun playing in the NHL with probably the arguably the best player in the world right now. And the best player in the world right now, is leading the league, 128 points, 26 points, sorry, 83 assists. Now Evan Bouchard is leading all defensemen with 87 points, and I don't think he'll get there. But the record, I think the Oilers only have one defenseman that has ever made 100 points, and that's Paul Coffey.
Mm.
But that's 13 points Bouchard seems
To a
to get
game, and he's
two,
good. He's
three.
got it.
Sometimes he could have a shot at. He's playing. Of course, that's offense. Defense has picked up quite a bit too,
Yeah.
and I really can attribute to the defensive philosophy changing, putting Coffee back behind the net, and getting Murphy
Yes.
from Chicago. That has definitely tightened up the defense a lot. It looks like Murphy and Nurse are a good pair together. That's going to be a pair that you're going to see a lot of going into the playoffs. The others picking up the slack, you mentioned it. Ross Livick, Podkolson, Kapanen, Jake Wallman. It's like these guys are starting to. It's not relying on McDavid, not relying on
The whole team.
Draisaitl. The whole team has decided, hey, and it took Leon Draisaitl being out. I really do believe it took him being out for them to figure, hey, you know what? Somebody's got to step
We
up
need
and take his
everybody.
place. Nobody's going to take his place as Leon Draisaitl, but somebody's got to fill the gap until he gets back. And different players have done it. You see, sometimes McDavid gets one assist, and there's like seven other players getting points. So you got to like that coming from your role players. And I'm just liking the way the defense is looking, uh, and I'm liking the way that the scoring depth is coming to play. It's all coming at the right time, Carl.
Yes, I agree.
All right, now the Penguins. How we doing?
Yep. I mean, status quo. I mean, they're still in that second spot. They've got a lead, but last week, honestly, as much as they were 2-2, which is honestly fine at this point of the year for them to be 500 every week, they did exactly what they had to do this week perfectly. They played Saturday against Dallas. They lost 6-3 at home. Kind of a brutal game, really, how it went down because the Stars got so many power plays in a row. Uh, you know, Penguins got the first goal of the game right away on the power play, and then Dallas got a few in a row. Then they had that wacky fourth goal that I showed you. I sent you on TikTok of that. I couldn't believe that. Erik Karlsson's stick literally just got taken out of his
Yeah,
hands and
yeah, it's
thrown on the ice, and they
ridiculous.
didn't blow it dead. And the same guy, Liam Bichel, that took it, scored, and that was brutal. Definitely turned the tide of the game. But the Penguins had their chances, I'll say, and they didn't. They didn't come back. One of those games. I think I said it. It's one of those games on the schedule that you knew it was going to be tough, and I think that's not a game the Penguins had to win. They're for the most part have been doing their job, but the games they needed to do well in were at the beginning of this last week, which was on Monday night and Tuesday night. Monday night they had to play in Long Island against the Islanders, which was the biggest game of the season at that point, because both teams were fighting for that second spot, and the Penguins had the game in hand, but they were a point back or a point up on the Islanders. And the Penguins started off not very good. I mean, they played them in the first period, then they got scored on right away a couple times in the second. They were down 3-1, and then out came this explosion of goals. They scored 7 unanswered to win 8-3. Statement win in Long Island. The first time in his career, believe it or not, Ilya Sorokin's let up 7 goals or more in a game. The first time, and he got pulled. Not, I mean, it wasn't really his fault. I'll say that he was kind of let off to dry a lot, but
Mhm.
the Penguins beat them, and that was a big momentum swing because they played the next night at home against the Red Wings, which is not a divisional team, but a team that was hunting for that wild card spot. And all the Penguins needed to do is stay above the wild card spots, and they're going to be in at this point, regardless where they seed. And they absolutely just kicked them to the curb. They played such a good, complete 60-minute game on Tuesday, beating them 5-1 at home. They were up 3-0. They got 3 goals right away in the first period, and then the Wings got one back on the power play, but the Penguins came back and scored 2 more to take the game. And they got a lot of scoreboard help, like I said, that night and the rest of this week, really, because the Islanders lost to Buffalo that next night. The Flyers lost. The Jackets. A lot of those teams just kept losing, and so the Penguins really just had that working
Mhm.
for them. And then one thing I was thinking about in that game, the Wings just in the March of they just keep crumbling in March every season. Like they
Yeah.
didn't look like a team. They just looked like they weren't interested. They were just kind of there. And it's like you're fighting for your playoff life here, and you're playing against a team that just played in such an emotionally meaningful game the night before, and they just didn't take advantage of that at all. So proud of the Penguins with how they played, and then finally they wrapped up this last night against Tampa Bay, and just game where they just didn't look like they had it. They just looked kind of gassed. They had a 2-1 lead in the first period, but then the Bolts just came away, got a shorthanded goal in the second, couple more goals. Nikita Kucherov had a crazy snipe goal in the third, but yeah, just they lost 6-3. Again, kind of a brutal game. They just didn't have it most of the night. Power play looked disastrous. They just looked very tired. I think a team that's played a lot of meaningful hockey lately, and they skated away with what they could. Igor Chinikov got his 20th goal of the season last night, so he got a 20-goal season. A guy that came over from Columbus, and at the time he came over, I believe, had 3 goals when he got here, and he's already got 17 with the Penguins. Big acquisition. But now the easy part of the schedule is for the Penguins now. So this is their time to really feast because the last 6 games of the season are against teams that are not in a playoff spot. All of them. I think they've got like the 27th or 28th most difficult schedule. So one of the easier ones in the league remaining. They've got a home and home back to back, which I mentioned is super weird. They play against the Panthers twice in a row at home, Saturday and Sunday. And this is a Panthers team, okay, that you can't underestimate, but they're sitting literally everybody. Like Marchand's not playing, Reinhardt's not playing, Rodriguez is not playing, obviously Barkov's not playing. All those guys are out because they're hurt, and the Panthers don't have a chance to make it. So the Penguins need to absolutely get at least 3 points, if not all
Yeah,
four,
at
because
least.
they're going to have, I mean, they're going to be at home. Imagine just 2 sellout crowds in a row. The Penguins need those points. And I think if they win both of those games, their spot's good. I think their spot's good. But the Panthers, they're still playing for pride. They're still playing for pride. They want to upset the Penguins and keep them out of a spot. And the Penguins got to go in there and play all 4 lines rolling. Power play's got to be on it. Penalty kill's got to be on it. These guys got to be just shooting the score all the time. If you're beating them 8-9 nothing, whatever, do it. Knock it out of the park. Prove it to your fans that want to see you back in there. But they got to do it. And then they finally wrap up the week. They have a few days off until they head back to Jersey on Thursday to play the Devils. So 2 important games tomorrow on Saturday and Sunday. I'm really looking forward to them. Obviously, you can't underestimate that Florida team, but I think the Penguins just play the way they have for the most part, and they're going to have a spirited effort this weekend, I imagine. So I'm excited. I mean, this is the most excited I've been about the team in a long time. Uh, I like watching them play. They're exciting to watch. I believe in them every time they step on the ice that they're going to win. And I haven't been able to say that the last couple of years with how they've really played, but they've really proven themselves. And it's just this exciting time of year for me to actually get to again take part in a playoff race again,
Yeah,
and it really be like that they're going to be in it most likely.
yeah, and we're going to have a new Stanley Cup champion this year, so it's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, and
It opens up about
and on that note, that's not a shame to the Panthers. I mean, they went
no,
through a lot. I mean,
yeah,
God,
they
everybody in
just
there,
got
everybody
injured.
that could get hurt on that team got hurt,
Yeah,
and
they just
I don't think there's a concern at all in that team. They're going to
no,
be back. They're going to be
they'll
in a
be back.
spot next year again.
Yeah. Didn't mention the Oilers' schedule coming up tomorrow night. They're at home to Vegas, 9 o'clock. Then they go on the road for 3. Tuesday in Utah, Wednesday in San Jose, and then next Saturday in LA. And then they'll wind up their regular season on the 13th at home against Colorado and the 16th at home
Yeah.
against Vancouver.
I
So
know the
lots of
Penguins
good.
have a. I'll have an interesting weekend next weekend. The Penguins have a back-to-back home and home against Washington next
Yeah,
weekend, so that'll be quite in. But and too for tonight, out of town scoreboard help. The Penguins right now they are getting help because the Flyers are beating the Islanders 3-0
yeah,
now.
that'll work. But yeah,
So that'll work.
keep going. I want to thank our people that have joined us today. Beth and Jamie, our 2 most important people in our lives. Arden joined us as well as Rachel, and you can join us too. The replay of the podcast will be coming up a little later on tonight on both Facebook and YouTube.
Yep.
Again, we chart our teams on TikTok if you want to follow us on TikTok. As we get into the playoffs, we're going to be going probably every night of the playoffs because it's just so exciting. And now that, it's really exciting because both of our teams are in the playoffs. Well, we can say that
As of
almost.
now, they are,
As of
and
now,
they
they
most
are.
likely are going to be unless anything kind
Yeah.
of happens.
So it's going to be exciting, but it's going to be an exciting playoffs because, like I just
A lot
mentioned,
of new blood. A lot of new blood this year. There's a
yeah,
lot of new blood in the
new
playoffs.
blood. Utah,
Utah,
Anaheim back
Anaheim,
in it.
Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo. That Buffalo. I mean, I want to see that first game in Buffalo
I
because that
know
place
that
is going to
crowd's
be
going to be
crazy.
crazy.
That place is going to be crazy. But we're going to be on, usually at the end of the night on during the playoffs. We'll be here next couple of weeks on Thursday. We'll try to do our Thursdays again. But once the playoffs come, it's going to be a very exciting time,
Mhm.
and we look forward to it every year. It's the most exciting time. It's the most exciting game. The NBA playoffs, for here in San Antonio, it's exciting because the Spurs are going to be back in it. They've clinched and they're looking really good. But you can't beat the Stanley Cup playoffs. I
No,
don't care what league you're talking about.
you can.
There's nothing more exciting than the NHL playoffs. So we're 2 weeks away
Yep.
from the start of the fun time.
Yep.
And well, Carson, again, great stuff. Another
Yeah.
great day.
Thank you.
This again replay will be coming up pretty soon. And in the meantime, and in between time, everybody,